Pro Tools is becoming the standard in all areas of audio production, and radio is no exception. From live shows to sound effects playback and station IDs, Pro Tools meets the needs of the demanding schedules of radio production. Getting things done quickly with high impact is a major part of radio today. Waveform and sync point editing are standard in radio as they help you chop up and sort through large amounts of audio quickly and in a musical fashion. The creative possibilities are endless for the manipulation of sound. Plugins like GRM tools and Pitch and Time let you turn a recognizable music bed 180 degrees into something completely zany and different. Additionally, the ability to quickly cut and assemble tags helps you build and accent your shows faster than you ever could with carts and analog tape. Let's take a closer look.
One of the best things about Pro Tools for radio is the sound design capabilities, the same kind of sound design capabilities you get pro music producers are using, you can actually bring to your own radio sweepers. One of the best plugins that I'm really enjoying using lately is GRM tools, and there's a whole suite of plugins. They're all delay-based or filter-based, and they combine them in a way that really makes some interesting options available to you. So here's a standard voice track that I would have in here without the plugin.
Broadcasting direct to your radio in a stream.
It kind of had this, plain effect. You really needed to have some kind of EQ in there. So rather than just playing a regular filter in there, I decided to do something a little more dynamic and kind of create a morphing effect over time. With this plugin, what it lets me do is actually automate a filter that's going to move across the band frequency all by itself. So you kind of get an effect which you can actually draw right on the waveform itself, like this here. So even if I didn't like a specific part of it, maybe it was too bassy here, I can bring that back up. And you can see how it reacts. That kind of flexibility was impossible just a few years ago. I mean, imagine trying to sit around, you're mixing on a board with faders, and then you're switching over here to hit your gear and trying to turn knobs to make an effect work, and then the boss comes and says, you know that phrase? Well, we need to add a sponsor. It's impossible. So with stuff like this, you can create stuff that just a few years ago would have taken you all day, literally, just to get it down once. Here's a constant trick in radio is the stutter or the repeat. And here's an example of an affected voice track that was pre-affected in Audio Suite before I stuttered it. But you can see I basically started it out. And one of the problems anytime you repeat audio like that is sometimes you get little clicks in between the edits. Just stick a little fade in there, and that click is gone. See right here, there's going to be a click there. Boom, gone. That's a crossfade between the two elements. So now automatically that sound is going to fade out and fade in, the click will be gone. It creates a really clean sound. One of the constants in radio is that nothing's ever the same. It's constantly changing, and it constantly needs to be updated and constantly needs to be fixed. And what you did 5 minutes ago and it was brilliant often needs to change because the boss says, well, now we need a new version of that. And that's no truer than when you get into creative radio production when you do sweepers. A lot of times you'll work 20 minutes or something out of sweeper, you'll finish it, you'll play it for the boss and be great, and then 3 days later he'll come back and say, now we need a weekend version. We need a version that says, we're your weekend radio station. I loved it, keep it exactly the way it is, just change that one word. Well, a lot of times you can go in and change the word, but what if you need to change it for the day of the week? You need to do 7 different versions. What if you need to do a version for 20 different clients? With track playlists in Pro Tools, it's really easy to keep track of this stuff. Instead of erasing old data and losing it, you can keep all 20 versions stacked on top of each other without changing or destroying any of them. And that's done by just simply creating a new track playlist. So here's our original version. Now the boss says, well, he wants it to say your weekend radio station in the very beginning. So instead of creating a new one right on top of this and destroying this one, I'll just create a new track playlist, and boom, there's my weekend radio station announcement. And if I needed to do one for Wednesday, I would just create a new playlist just by doing new. Bam, I would just type in a name there, and it would create a brand new one. I could stack that one on top of that one, however many versions we needed to do. And they're all right there. They're all easily accessible, so I can scroll through them, go back to my original one, go to the one that was for Tuesday or whatever, and go for the one that's for Sunday. It's very easy to keep track of it, and it's all non-destructive, and it's all compact in one spot. One of my favorite audio suite plugins also is like the Verify, the Defy, Rectify series. These are like totally just to destroy sound. You just take a normal sounding piece of audio, and all of a sudden you're taking all the low out of it. You're adding in some 8-bit hiss and crunch, and these are effects that you just can't create just by trying to do it with a reel-to-reel machine or a cart deck. And those kind of effects were impossible years ago, and now they're just right at your fingertips. So easy to create.